It is Friday, October 10th, 2025. This is another playoff edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. So out of a possible 20 divisional round games, we're going to end up seeing 18.
Sheesh.
That ain't bad.
It's great. I don't know what I was going to say right there. I'm tired, but I'm happy, if that makes sense.
It was an emotional day, I think in part because of how the early game between the Phillies and Dodgers ended, because there's, even if you don't have a rooting interest in it, there's just so much that went into it. So let's get to it, because the champs, they advance in a game that both LA and Philly are going to remember, or maybe in the Phillies' case, a play they would like to forget.
Plouffe breaks his bat. Kirkring got to find it. Throws to the plate. Oh, my goodness. He throws it away. And the Dodgers have won. The Dodgers win. And they are moving on to the NLCS in a most improbable finish. Pandemonium at Dodger Stadium. And your heart breaks for Ryan Kirkring.
Shit off my foot. Just kind of, once the pressure got to me, I just thought it was a faster throw to JT, a little quicker throw than trying to cross body at the Bryce. So, just a poor shit throw.
Yeah. Did you hear them telling you to go to first at all, or were you just in the moment? It wasn't even
Just in the moment.
Yeah.
I was sick for the kid. All I did was stare at the TV, and I was like, what the hell did I just see?
I think everyone kind of had that reaction where it was shock, and then you felt it was just a gut punch, not only for him, but for everybody on the field. You can see him as soon as it happens, all of them just go into, oh my goodness, no way our, full season of hard work and just all the stress that comes with it. Obviously a lot of good times as well, but just everything that you pour into a season ends that way. I couldn't imagine it, Chris. And Kirkring obviously feels the worst of anybody, but I do think that there has been in my, at least where I'm at on social media and stuff, and then what I've seen from the post-game interviews, there's a collective thought out there that that was messed up, but the Phillies put themselves in a bad situation. They didn't hit enough. They could have done a lot more. And I think we as a baseball society have handled it pretty well.
I think the thing that makes it really challenging is that it wasn't only a physical error. We have seen physical errors end playoff games before. Obviously, the most famous one is Bill Buckner in the 1986 World Series in Game 6, which, oh, by the way, did not lose the series for the Boston Red Sox. I know that you were only a few months old, so you don't quite remember it. I was sitting on the edge of my parents' bed as a 15-year-old watching that play. That did not lose them the World Series. In fact, Boston ended up taking a lead in Game 7 of the World Series. So the hard part about this is that it was a physical error and a mental error all wrapped into one, because Plouffe was like barely halfway up the line to first base. All he had to do was take it, throw it. Even if he wanted to lob it to Harper, he still gets him. And I think that is probably the most gut-wrenching thing about this.
Well, that was the problem. There's no way he's going to take a deep breath or any sort of moment
not
at that time, because, look, I told Jake this. It's in that moment, the last thing that Kirkring is thinking about is fielding his position. He's got no room for error. Just walked Kike, and there was an open base, so he's trying to make pitches. But all he's trying to do there is like, I got to execute my pitches, and I can't walk this guy. He's thinking about throwing the ball. He is not thinking about fielding the ball. And you know what? It was a weird grounder because he saws him off, and that's always a little strange. And by the time he had any sort of like, okay, the ball's coming to me, he had already booted it. And then it was just, it was panic. He had no grip on the ball. When they showed the slow-mo that was when I got the most sick, because he just I could put myself in his shoes, him throwing to home, and you can feel where the ball is, and he knew that he had about his fingertips were barely on the ball when he threw that thing, and he knew it wasn't going to happen for him.
Yeah.
So it's I feel very, very bad for him. I think Rob Thompson did a hell of a job making sure that he stopped him as he came into the dugout, and reassured him that, hey, we win as a team, lose as a team. And everybody on that team did the same thing as well. Now, obviously, it still hurts, but I think they handled it very, very well.
And so did he. He didn't. Some people think that you have to go talk to the media after a game. You don't have to. Plenty of guys have hid in the trainer's room, aren't ready to talk to the media. I mean, I know it's a different sport, but for those of you that remember last year, the Ravens losing to the Bills in the divisional round up in Buffalo, where Mark Andrews, who's a multi-time Pro Bowl tight end, dropped what would have been the game-tying 2-point conversion. He did not talk to the media after the game. He didn't even talk during the open locker room. He was so distraught. The next day, he didn't do that. And here's a kid that's been around for only 3 seasons. Like, do you remember his major league debut?
I do.
Do you remember his dad? Literally in tears. I mean, this big guy, tears are streaming down his face. He's so proud of it. And we just look at him like, he's the reliever that cost us a chance to get this series back to Philadelphia and stick a fork in the champs because we're going to win Game 5. But he's a human being, and however he deals with this moving forward it's entirely up to him. He's off to a really good start, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, getting up and facing the media for sure is a sign of his character.
Mm-hmm.
And we had even if we go back in Phillies, in this team's past, like Alec Boehm, like they made Alec Boehm go speak to the media after we caught him saying, "I effing hate this place." Yep. I don't know if they were the same veterans got him and said, "Hey man, just go face it right now," or not. But they've done a good job in that clubhouse facing adversity. And this is just another example of it.
Yeah, that was Nick Castellanos who actually shared that story with us on the Rose Rotation. He told us, he said, listen, he pulled Boehm aside. He said, you're not going to want to do this. Go talk to the media right now. You're going to hate it now, but in 15 years, when you've had a great career, you're going to look back at this moment, and it's going to be part of the reason that you were able to kind of advance yourself and move forward. Before we move on and advance in terms of the Dodgers and why they're going on and why the Phillies are going home, here's a little bit more from the Phillies clubhouse on that play.
Just to keep his head up. He just got caught up in the moment a little bit. Coming down the stretch there, he pitched so well for us, and it's I feel for him because he's putting it all on his shoulders. But we win as a team and we lose as a team.
There's times that I made a double error in a playoff game before. It's just the way it is, and you have to learn from it. You're going to be better for it, and I don't think that that's going to define Kirk's career at all.
That was Topper, and then, of course, Kyle Schwarber.
Hey, what was behind Schwarber?
Yeah, that was...
What was that?
The Philly fanatic thing?
Was he giving an interview?
I don't know. Well, let's take it.
What's going on there?
It's a Philly fanatic. It must be a Philly fanatic poster, right? Like they must.
Is it a poster? Because it looks like he's standing right behind. Okay.
What do you think? You think he's got his own locker in there?
I didn't know what was going on there. Oh my God.
How great would that be if the fanatic traveled with him and just hung out in the locker room as the comic relief?
Wait, why is that there? They're in the Dodgers visiting clubhouse. Like they just put that up for the postseason?
Why not? Make it feel like home.
All right.
I guess. So the Dodgers are moving on. It was not easy. They won the first 2 in Philly. Then they hung in there last night till Kershaw got knocked around. Here they are. By the way, this video is unreal. It's just a sea of Dodgers running past Orion Kirkering, who's got his hands on his knees, and that picture is, it's great if you're a Dodger fan, and that's all, you shouldn't feel bad. You won the game, you pitched your ass off, and you scored one more run than they did in extra innings. One of the key contributors out of the pen was Alex Vesia. Here he is post-game.
The will and the fight, I did not want to get on that plane. I did not want to go to Philly. So that was for me personally, big motivating factor. Get my 3 outs, let the boys get back up to the plate. And that was a hell of an ending.
If the play is made, we now go to the 12th. The Dodgers had already used Roki, had already used Sheehan, had already used Vesia. They're going to start to get into guys that maybe they say they trust, but I don't know. Now, the Phillies weren't in much better shape because they had already used their dudes as well. But I think that Topper would have been in better shape than Dave Roberts. I could be wrong here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who comes in after that. We have Dreyer, Banda, and Trinan.
Yes, that's the next group of guys. Yes.
And for Philly's got D-Rob. They got a couple different guys they could bring in. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll never know.
I know. That's part of it. The Dodgers, we asked at the beginning of the playoffs, do you think Roki could go multiple innings?
Ooh.
Well, boy, did he do it. 3 perfect innings. In fact, he now has gone 5 1/3 in the playoffs, given up 1 hit, struck out 5. I loved it because in between innings, he was like the anxious little leaguer who was still wearing his glove. He couldn't sit down, couldn't take a breath. He was standing there holding his mitt. I'm sure the Phillies were like, when's this MFer going to get out of the game? Because we can't do anything with him. You talk about solving a problem overnight.
When we were talking about what's the solution for the Dodgers bullpen, and I was talking about Ohtani. So Saki wasn't back yet, and they just decided, hey, that's a much better option. Let's have Ohtani be the starter, and this guy has answered the bell and has just been incredible. And guess what he got though tonight? Clean innings. I think that's and maybe now that he's done it a few times, you don't got to try to get him that anymore. Maybe you can bring him in some tighter spots when you need to get out of a pinch because he's proven himself and probably has a lot of confidence now coming out of the bullpen. He's done it a few times now, so the routine feels a little bit easier for him. But you're right. They've found a guy. I mean, to have a back-end guy, high-leverage back-end guy that can give you 3 innings is the ultimate playoff weapon. There's not even if you could tell me I'll give you a starter who's going to go give you 6 great innings, or you say you can have a lockdown reliever that's going to give you 3, I'm taking the reliever every single time.
Yeah. Now, like I said, he went 9 for 9. I mean, there wasn't a blemish there. If he walks a guy, somebody gets a knock, a couple guys on, then he's not going to give you 3 innings. But as of right now, nobody's putting together consistent at-bats against the dude. And I have to be honest with you. I think it's one of the most shocking things that we've seen this season. Not because he doesn't have the talent, but, we talked about it. He's a kid that was 23 when he got over here. We've talked about how difficult it can be to make the adjustment. He was getting knocked around early on. We hadn't seen him since from the middle of May until late September, except for some social media clips of him down in the minor leagues. And there was no way that we thought that it was even a possibility. We were like, put him on the playoff roster? Like, are you nuts? They've got enough issues back there. Now you're going to try and take a guy who was a starter that wasn't super successful the first 5 weeks of the year anyway. Like, there's no way. And now he has become their biggest pen weapon. I don't think we're making a big enough deal about it.
I think we talk about him quite a bit. He's pretty good. Did a great job tonight. Yeah,
you're not surprised?
Yeah. Am I surprised he's been this good? For some reason, I'm not. But maybe you're right. Maybe we should be thinking about this. I think because he's on the Dodgers, and when he first came over, everyone's initial thought was they're getting him for the minimum. This is a cheat code. We saw all the stats over there in Japan, and we just assumed because he's a Dodger, he's going to be great, but he's still a human. and he had a really weird first season, and he's doing this at the highest leverage time of the year in a new spot. So yeah, I agree. Maybe we should be making a little bit more noise about it.
All right, so we got a lot to cover. Dodger fans, how you feeling moving on? I mean, they're going to be just fine. Whether they host game 1 against the Cubs on Monday or they're at Milwaukee, they can set up their pitching any which way. Their bullpen arms can be well rested. They can go take extra batting practice if they need to do that, because there were times where they didn't get. If you're Philly, by the way, you got to be sick to get 2 starts out of Christopher Sanchez and 1 out of Jesus Luzardo the way that they did and lose all 3 of those games. Like, you got to be sitting here saying, come on, what the hell?
What do you think that flight's like right now?
There's not a lot of music playing. I can tell you that.
See, I asked Jake the same question. I think they're getting tossed.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's not, maybe not like, it's not party vibes, but it's like, what's that song? Like, it's not a time for tuck in the road. Like that one that they play at the graduations all the time, like the sad song
with Billy Joe singing it.
Yeah, it's like Green Day. Yeah, they're like, it's Schwarber, Rio Muto. We don't know what's going to happen. I know we're going to get into that next, but I imagine they're just like drinking their sorrows away.
We hope you had the time of your life.
On the acoustic guitar playing. Harrison Bader stayed back in LA. He's like, see you guys. I'm going to go party.
Good for the Dodgers, who are now celebrating a berth in the NLCS for the 8th time in the last 13 years. That's pretty special stuff. More on the Phillies in just a second. But first, based on hundreds of millions of real-world tests, the experts at Ookla Speed Test, they have spoken. T-Mobile, now the best mobile network in all of America. So you can keep up with all of the baseball postseason action from the ballpark to the backcountry. Why? Because T-Mobile has got the most advanced 5G, the most towers, and a signal that goes farther than ever. So whether you're streaming the game out and about, or you're checking stats on the road, or you're experiencing ballpark perks, with Magenta Status, you are ready to stay connected wherever your fandom takes you. So all you have to do is head on over to T-Mobile.com/network to switch to the very best network around. Phillies, they fall short yet again. They really thought that this was the year. It's not. There's a lot of big questions. Will Schwarber be back? What about JT Realmuto? What is the future of their manager? Team is obviously getting older and leaving the playoffs before their ultimate goal.
Our daily life is Philly baseball. You know, this is our family in here. This is what we do. We want to win for, you know, not just ourselves, but for everybody that, you know, watches us play as a fan base and everything else. So I understand what they're going through. I've lost many, you know, playoff series and many games in the playoffs, and it's not fun. You know, I want it more than probably a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's doesn't feel good, you know. You just make a lot of different relationships in the clubhouse, and you never know how it's going to work out, right?
Well, first that was Bryce Harper, and then Kyle Schwarber, who, as I mentioned, is a free agent. And for those of you that are audio only, he was almost in tears right there. Tears. Because I think they know that they missed a huge opportunity here.
Yeah, I mean, this Schwarber having an MVP type season, all those guys playing together, that probably not all going to be back together. I don't see that happening. Maybe Middleton makes it happen. I don't know. But there's a chance that they're not going to. And like Bryce said, when you're just around the guys so much, you're around them more than your family, and you create real relationships, and you're working towards a common goal, and it's stress together, it's elation together, you just really form bonds, man. And when it ends like the way it did, I'm not even talking about the air, but when it ends at the end of the season, when you feel like, man, we got a really good shot here, we think we didn't play our best at the end of the year, which they didn't hit enough, especially the top of that lineup. So you play all season. I mean, the baseball season is such a fucking grind, dude. And then it comes down to a 5-game set, and you don't play your best, and you're saying, wow, we wasted another opportunity that it's not guaranteed ever. I mean, you can tell that they understand where they're at as a franchise, and they're wondering, are we going to get another go at this altogether?
No, they're not. And at the beginning of the season, and then again at the beginning of the playoffs, I picked them to win the whole thing. I thought that, listen, they peaked in 2022 with this group. They made it to Game 6 of the World Series before bowing out against the Houston Astros. Then the next year, they had the lead. All they had to do was win one of 2 games at home in the NLCS against the little team that could from Arizona, and they couldn't do it. Then last year, they end up stinking in 4 games against the Mets. Well, this year, they spanked the Mets. Atlanta was never a factor after the first 10 days of the season. I thought that, and particularly after trading for Duran and Bader, I was like, I think this team's got everything it needs. Now, they did not have, unfortunately, they didn't have Zach Wheeler at the end of the year, and that is a real bummer. It is huge. But they did, I just mentioned it. They got 3 great starting pitching performances. 2 from Sanchez, 1 from Luzardo. Aaron Nola and Ranger Suarez combined to give them another one in Game 3. So they got that covered. But, man, when those top 3 guys who get paid combined $700 million don't get it done, then why should we be any easier on the Phillies than the Yankees when they don't get it done? Shouldn't we be giving the Phillies the same sort of treatment?
You're right, because some of the things that plagued the Yankees plagued the Phillies as well. Now, the start of this game tonight, they were making some really good defensive plays, and there was some improvement, especially from Trey Turner during this year where they got better. But that's been a calling card there. I mean, Nick Castellanos out there in the outfield, he's always kind of been a liability. They've tried to figure out their outfield defense. Then obviously we saw the play that ended tonight. But yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I really haven't thought about it that way, and I don't know why. Why don't we?
Because we do like to pick on the Yankees, and I'm part of that. I mean, every time the Yankees come up short, I make sure for people to know that, hey, not that they're just another team, because I don't ever believe that. I don't say they're just another team. They're a very good team.
You don't think that the Phillies has pushed the chips in a little bit more than the Yankees?
Oh, I think they have.
I think that's why we don't say the same thing, because a lot of times when you're pointing fingers at the Yankees, you are pointing at the team, but you're pointing more at the front office as well. This front office has done every single thing they could do to make this a winner.
Yeah, I mean, could it have gotten,
kind of where I'm.
Yes, I agree with you. Could it have gotten a little more athletic in certain areas, particularly in the outfield?
That's not Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah. And yes, it could have. But for the most part, when you look at that team, once they traded for Duran and Bader, I really looked at them and said, I don't think that they've got a weakness at this point. I honestly believe that.
I feel the same way.
So now there are people that are going to be calling for Topper's head. Now I don't think we're going to go over every little thing that he did in this game, right?
Oh, I think are we going to talk about the Shohei intentional walk?
Sure. I mean, that's a big part of it, right?
Hated it.
To walk a guy who's 1 for 18 with 9 strikeouts. Yeah.
Don't know why they did that. Live watching the game, I'll say, what are we doing, man?
Yeah. By the way, that was a great take by Mookie. Great
at bat. Yeah, everything. That was a wonderful at bat. But he puts the pressure on the pitcher. You walk the bases low. There's no room for error. Right. I mean, and you got a guy, and that's what the Dodgers. And that's why we talk about the Dodgers the way we talk about them. Yeah, like in most instances, it's a no-brainer to walk Shohei Ohtani with the base open. But then you have to deal with Mookie. And then you got to deal with Teo, who's a monster in the postseason. Then you got to deal with Freddie. And then you got to deal with Tommy Edman, who just turns it on. It just goes on and on and on. And that's why they're moving on without even playing their best ball.
Other people will say, well, why'd you bring in Kerkering? Luzardo was pitching very well out of the pen.
Well, he got into trouble there.
He did. He got into a little trouble. He still the ball looked like it was coming out of his hand great. It didn't look like he was struggling.
When he mowed down Shohei, Mookie, and Teo, and that was the bottom of the 10th, I was
right?
like, oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah, and Topper said, listen, we thought we were only going to pitch him 1 inning, but because he got through that 10th pretty well, we decided to send him out there. He was at basically 30 pitches or whatever the number was. He said, it's his throw day. I'm not going to put him in jeopardy or in that. And you can say, well, if you don't win, then he's got all offseason to rest, and I'll listen to that. But the other stuff, I mean, it really comes down to those top 3 guys. They have got to produce. They've got to, because one thing we talked about with the Toronto Blue Jays was, as great as it is to have guys like Barger and Ernie Clement and Lucas giving you productivity when you didn't necessarily think going into the year that's where it would come from. If guys like Vlad and George Springer don't produce, then it's not going to mean jack you know what. So even if the back half of this lineup does its job, if those top 3 aren't great, you're going home. And that's what's happening. And I don't think that this is on Topper. I don't. I would not move on from him.
No,
he's got another
great.
year left on his
People
deal.
love him. He's great.
Yeah.
The Castellanos and him stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
But I think that's a one-off in that clubhouse. I think most of not most of all the other guys probably have a very sincere respect for him.
Yeah. I listened to Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber all on it. They were like, we love him. Now, could they be not telling the entire truth in front of the camera? Possible. But I think they're really into it. So I think when the manager returns, I think they are going to try and make some trades to upgrade the team. Isn't Ranger Suarez a free agent? Or no, he's got another year, I think.
I have to look.
Oh, he signed kind of I thought a team-friendly deal maybe.
I'm going to look it up right now for you, Chris Rose, because I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. But
he is a free agent in 2026. So, yes.
That's a big one.
He signed. He was making 8.8 this year. Put out a 4.7 WAR, 26 starts at a 3.2, 157 in the third innings.
It was Sanchez that signed an incredibly team.
Sanchez, yeah, he almost immediately he signed that deal, right?
Yep.
He has a deal that runs through 30, 29 and 30 are team options. It's oh my gosh, it's a 4-year, 22 and a half.
Jeez.
And then the options are worth, I don't even have it up.
10?
I don't even want to know.
10.
14 and 15.
No, good. Well, at least it's a little dough there on the backside. All right, Phillies fans. Number one, how crushing is this? Like, I have, as a Cleveland sports fan, I've lived through some brutal, brutal moments, including the very end of a season as a guy was trying to run in and tie the AFC Championship game that would have sent us to our first ever Super Bowl. So I do feel your pain. Curious where you are
today, didn't they?
What's that?
Philly had a tough day today.
We got scatterbooed on top of everything else.
And then the Flyers got beat, I believe.
Man, oh man.
Not laughing at you, Philly. You know I'm a Philly for life.
Those bars are going to be busy over the weekend. I can tell you that. Everybody be safe when you're out there enjoying life. But I do want to know where you're at emotionally. Are you pissed off or are you sad? More of how it ended. What change, if you could make one change in the offseason for the team, what would you do? Whether that's bringing back one guy or, trading for a certain piece or signing a certain free agent. So you might have to do a little homework. That's all good. So get to it. All right, it's time right now for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week. It is brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, and determination. And for that, we take you to Wrigley Field, where for the second straight game, the Cubs said, we are determined to play on. And that includes the longest tenured man on the north side of Chicago.
Happ with a drive, right field, way back there, gone!
What did that mean to you? Yeah, these guys have been carrying me all playoffs, and so to contribute like that early was huge. Some really good swings today, and it felt great, and what Matty Boyd did after that was just spectacular.
So that, of course, the voice of Ian Happ, who hit a 3-run shot in the first, and they never looked back as they ended up blanking the Brewers and forcing a Game 5 92 miles away up there in Milwaukee come Saturday night. This was huge, not because he's had this great week, but because he had this moment, which is something that has been few and far between for him. 2 for 21 in the playoffs coming in before that at bat. 3 for 35 against Freddie Peralta with 15 Ks. And he put it all to the side and boom, set the tone, dude.
Yeah, and we've seen so many first inning runs, but a 3-run shot in the bottom to put you up 3-0 feels like an early dagger. And that's exactly what it ended up being for the Cubs.
Yeah. And when you hear guys in that clubhouse talk about Ian Happ, it is his consistency. It's just that even-keeled demeanor when he's not going well, doesn't matter. Same dude every day. He goes out, he posts, he's got pop from both sides. He's a good defender, and he just has become a fabric of that organization and that city. And I know that, being a friend of this media company, that a lot of us felt good that he could contribute as well. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, but he's contributed so much. It was only a matter of time before he did something because he is so consistent.
Today's episode of Baseball Today, it's sponsored by Bosch. And when you pick up Bosch power tools, it makes you kind of feel empowered and confident and appreciated. No matter what job lies ahead, you're simply going to crush it, just like Ian Happ did to that baseball. As global leaders for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions, they're built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures that you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with relative ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home base that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch power tools make sure you are powered up, ready for anything that gets thrown your way, because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. Head on over to BoschTools.com today to learn more about the Bosch power tools you need to get the job done right each and every time. So let's continue with that big Cubs shutout victory. Could have gone with Matthew Boyd as our Bosch Power Tool Player of the Week. Let's hit the rewind button. Game 1, didn't even make it out of the first inning. Here he works into the 5th. We're showing the last pitch that he threw of the evening, a strikeout of Christian Yelich as there was traffic on the bases. 4 1/3, 6 Ks, no runs. Great bounce back effort from the veteran.
It's probably my favorite pitch of the night right there. And against my guy, Yelly, who I love very, very much. The way he was manipulating his arm angle, kind of dropping down at times with his sweeper. Yelly there has to differentiate. Like, where is that going to go? Is it going to go into the other batter's box, or is it going to come back towards me? Because they both look the same coming out. And then, as they get closer, that's when you have to make the decision. That one just tied Yelly up. That was nasty, dude. It was way to show up. I think they were interviewing counsel saying, like, what'd you expect out of him? He gave them so much more than they could ever expect.
So back-to-back nights, veterans that they brought in on free agent deals, guys that have had multiple arm injuries in their respective careers between Tyone and Boyd. They both pitched very, very well. And I'll tell you this, the Cubs, they've now played 7 playoff games, and I don't think that they've had a starter go longer than 4 2/3 or whatever it is, right? They haven't had anybody throw, I don't think they've had anybody throw 5 innings yet in the postseason, and yet here they are.
Like, didn't Tyone get 5?
Maybe he got 5. He didn't get 5.
Because we talked about that. I think he got 5.
He did get 5 somewhere along the line?
I think last start.
In game 3?
I think so.
I thought he got 4. Whatever. We'll check it. Point is, they haven't got a lot of length out of their starters, unlike a lot of these other teams that are still alive. We both thought that Milwaukee was going to sweep. And then we thought, well, it's definitely ending here. Why have the Cubs been able to stick around?
Well, Milwaukee didn't hit. Their pitching has been great. They found a formula in the bullpen. By the way, Tyone did go 4, so good job on you. Way to go. Tonight, how many hits did the Cubs or the Brewers get tonight?
3.
3 hits?
3. 1 extra base hit.
Keep them off the bases. Don't let them put the pressure. I think the 3-run homer in the bottom of the first is I think that, like I said, that puts the pressure on Milwaukee to get your offense going. But Boyd set them down. Then they had their guys into the game. Pomeranz in, Palencia putting a fire out, Keller coming in the 8th. Like they found roles for these guys. And now, yeah, I mean, you go back to Milwaukee, obviously anything can happen in one game, but the Cubs have, I mean, they look dead, man. I mean, they got their butt kicked the first 2 games, and here they are. I mean, it shows the resilience of this team. And actually, I feel very similar. These guys haven't been together as long as Philly has, those guys together, but the expectations were very, very high for this team. And for them to, have their back against the wall, being like, man, we could end up being a laughing stock of this league. We went out and made all these moves. We traded for Kyle Tucker. We put ourselves in this position, and then we just didn't show up when it counted. And then for them to say, you know what, screw that, let's do it, I think is very special. I'm excited to see these 2 teams play in a Game 5. These 2 managers who've known each other for how long? Since like the 1970s or something. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know if it's that long.
When was Council at Notre Dame?
Council's my age.
When were you in college? I don't know.
I was in college in the early 90s.
My bad.
Since
what year 70s. Are we in? I don't know.
Come on, man. There's 2 or 3 other things I want to hit on. Number 1, we just saw the Kyle Tucker homer.
Yeah.
He is back to giving Kyle Tucker type at bats. I'm seeing it. And we wondered whether or not he'd be like Kirk Gibson limping around the bases with that injury that kept him out down the stretch. But he seems back and locked in. Number 2, do you pitch to Bush if you're the Brewers on Saturday? I mean, he hit another homer.
You kind of have to. He's their leadoff hitter, so it's like you can't just walk him for the first at bat. You got to pitch to him there.
I'm talking about, pitching around him. He only went 1 for 4, but he's hit homers in 8 of his last 12 games.
But Nico's been really, really good right behind him, right?
Okay, so you're going to.
Nico is hitting 429 in the series. Then Kyle Tucker's woke up right behind that. So it's they have their top of the lineup stepping up right now. So I think you can be careful with him, but again, like they have guys behind them that have been getting the job done as well.
Shout out to the Cubs pen, Drew Pomeranz, another scoreless frame. I think he has gone 5 perfect innings in the playoffs, if I'm not misremembering.
He was dominant tonight.
Yeah, this is a guy who didn't pitch in the major leagues for several years. We thought he was retired. And then I saw he got traded early in the season from Seattle to the Cubs. I was like, what? I just saw him in spring training. I thought he was finished. We saw him at the CAA event. Remember, he married into a pretty loaded family.
I was just looking that up because I remember somebody telling me that. Did I tell you that, or did you tell me that?
No, I told you that. I told you that.
He doesn't need to be here, people.
Right. Financially, he's good. But to his credit, he had surgery. Then he was working it back through rehab, and something went wrong. And you just thought, okay, that was going to be it. Drew Pomeranz had a good career, solid. That's it. And now you don't think the Seattle Mariners would like to borrow him tomorrow or on Friday, right? Holy smokes.
It's a great story.
Now the last thing is, as of the taping of the show, we don't know who's pitching Game 5. So I will let you play the role of Murph and Counsel.
Oh, my gosh.
Who's starting? Let's start with the Cubs, the road team.
I think you have, it's not an opener situation. You have your 5 guys that you really trust at the back end. So you pick one of the available starters, whoever that may be.
Shota? He's been a first-inning disaster this year.
Opener, Shota, my guys. Right?
Do you let
Kittredge, Shota, my guys.
Okay. All right.
I think that's what he'll do.
Okay. I was just going to throw it out there. Do you let Tyone throw the first inning? And that's it. It would be his throw day.
So have him open instead of Kittredge. It's interesting. A lot of decisions.
Okay. If you're Milwaukee, do you go with Jacob Misiorowski?
Tone setting start for him. That's a lot to put on him, man. It's a lot. I think he likes coming in the middle of the games right now more than he does starting. So so no.
So you will go opener. Or do you go Quintana?
Koenig.
Okay.
Koenig and then see what happens. Koenig's done that a lot this year, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's opened a bunch of games.
Is it more exciting to watch Misiorowski come out of the bullpen or start that game?
Where we're at now, it'd be more interesting to see him start.
I think so too.
But I don't think they do that.
Oh, it's going to be fun. All right, Cubs and Brewers fans, we'll let you play the role of front office / manager because we're a little group thinky here on Baseball Today. So everybody gets an opinion. Put it in the comments. Who are you going with? Dodgers, by the way, lost the season series 4-3 to the Cubs, although they didn't play after April. And they did not win a game in 6 tries against the Milwaukee Brewers. Last time they saw them was the first series out of the All-Star break. Teams are a little different. But I just wanted to get that out there. Once again, if the Brewers win, Game 1 is in Milwaukee on Monday. If the Cubs win, they are at L.A. for Game 1 on Monday.
We got to go to one of the games.
Maybe. We'll see how that goes.
Flex our MLB partnership and get some.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Look at you.
I'm going to work it.
You know what I'm ready to flex? Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Yes.
Because playoff season is here. So whether you're at a watch party, a tailgate, hanging with friends after the game, nothing levels up those moments quite like the refreshing tropical lime kick of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Baja Blast. It is absolutely legendary and now available everywhere. So go grab a can or a bottle and bring that tropical flavor to your next watch party. Or if you're going to a playoff game, you can do that as well in the parking lot. So this postseason, whether you're hanging with friends or rooting for your favorite team or grabbing food late night after the game or at that fall tailgate we talked about, whether it's baseball or football, grab something that'll really help tie it all together. It is Baja Blast. Do not wait. Grab Mountain Dew Baja Blast today. Taste the tropical refresh that takes every occasion to the next level. Find it now at mountaindew.com/finddew. All right. Toronto Blue Jays. They're just chilling. They're just having fun. They await the winner of the Tigers and Mariners, which is going to a 5th and deciding game Friday night in the Pacific Northwest. And all Seattle has to do is win a game started by likely 2-time Cy Young Award winner Tarik Skubal for the 4th time this season.
I think everybody understands, what's at stake, and when you think about our stretch run towards the end of the year, you're playing in a lot of games that mean a lot, and in some ways you're comfortable there, and I think that's where these guys are. They know tomorrow means a lot.
In 7 games, right? You have an opportunity to throw 3. I threw 3 against Cleveland. My last 3 starts of the year, or 2, and then first game of the wild card. But yeah, it's competition. And I think that's going to bring out the best in everyone involved, and that's why this game is so beautiful. We're going to be able to go experience that on Friday.
So that's Tarik Skubal, preceded by Mariners skipper Dan Wilson, who he's got to have like a tweed coat and a pipe somewhere lying around his house with that mustache, right? I mean, that is – he looks like –
I need a pipe right now.
Come on now. Clean it up. Clean it up.
Smoke a little tobacco, me and you?
No.
Okay. I don't either.
And not the wacky tobacco either.
I don't either. I'm like super clean right now.
Have you ever smoked a pipe? Like I'm talking about like one of the pipes.
Yeah, I have. Yes, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
You packed that thing and smoked it, huh?
It's disgusting. I'm not a tobacco guy.
Okay. I want to start with this. How confident are you that the Mariners can win yet another game started by Tarik Skubal?
Because it's happened 3 times already, you have to give like a little bit of confidence towards the Mariners, don't you? I mean, although his last start was very good, it was just, I think it was 2 solo homers by Polanco, but 7 innings pitched, 9 Ks, 1 walk. Like he had a dominant start. But yeah, the Mariners can have that in the back of their head. Like, we don't care. We've done it already. And we've got to him earlier in the season. He pitched well against us. But one of our guys clicked him a few times. Like, there's different ways to win ball games. They've done it both ways against him. So yeah, they're confident. Am I confident in it? I don't know. I keep saying that Scoob's is gonna dominate and the Tigers are gonna win, and they don't. So I'm confident they can do it.
Man, I don't know. I think they missed their opportunity. They had that game. They were up 3-0, and there was zero energy in Comerica. Yeah. Zero. And then I told you that I thought Torkelson's at bat to lead off the bottom of the fifth. I think it unlocked something and did something. And Detroit they won on the road in Houston last year. They ended up losing in Game 5 at Cleveland, but they won Game 3 at Cleveland this year. I thought they were dead in the middle of Game 4, and they came back and they hit 3 home runs when they had hit 2 the entire postseason before that. And I just think that they're bringing with them a confidence. I think A.J. Hinch, whether you like him or not, enables guys to feel like they can do anything. And I just like where they are emotionally. I don't know, man. I think
you're on the Tigers.
I think I am, because I think part of this is that Scooble wants to be this generation's best. And I'm talking about guys that are pitching in their mid to late 20s. And he can't do that unless he has a hallmark playoff win. He had a chance to get it last season in Cleveland in Game 5. What happened? Lane Thomas clicked him for this grand slam. And that's what he had to think about the entire offseason.
Oh my gosh, that homer was shocking.
Yeah, but this is that's what a lot of people remember about, like, his season for last year. As great as it was, they're like, wait, didn't he give up the grand slam to Lane Thomas and lose Game 5 on the road? Well, now he's got the exact same thing. The exact same thing. And I don't think he's going to allow that to happen. And I think Detroit's going to scratch enough runs across to move on to Toronto.
I think Scoobs is going to pitch well. Doesn't mean he's going to be perfect. He's going to pitch well. It's up to the Tigers because, it's for them. They have to hit with runners in scoring position, and they did that to come back in Game 4. Mm-hmm. They strung a bunch of hits together. AJ, I got to give credit to Hinch. He pulled some, put the guys in the right positions during that game. But I think if I'm saying what's going to be the difference in the game, it's going to be do the Tigers bats show up.
Here's part of the reason, because I picked at the beginning of the playoffs, I picked Seattle to not only win this matchup, but to represent the AL in the World Series against the Phillies. But here's why I think I'm switching. I don't like they're going with George Kirby, man. I know that he was great, except for the Kerry Carpenter thing, but Carpenter's got 5 homers against him. He has 5 hits in his career and 5 homers, and I can't stand the fact that the Mariners have 2 lefties in their entire roster, and one of them, Inspire, has pitched in every game, and he got lit up in Game 4. And I think Kerry Carpenter's giving great at-bats, so he's not getting pinch hit for anymore. And if you make one mistake early in the game, like, I don't understand why Luis Castillo's not starting this game. He's on regular rest. I don't get it.
I mean, they both had good starts against the Mariners. Kirby's went a little bit longer. Castillo goes 4 2/3. He did walk 4 people in that game. I know what you're saying about Carpenter and Kirby. I hate that matchup. Obviously, they know about that matchup. You just can't pitch to them. Like, you have to either throw the 4 up, or you got to be real careful and intentionally walk him. You can't let that guy beat you. He's not going to get taken out of the game. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, I think that you just be smart. It's pretty easy to go like this, Chris.
Yeah.
Let me see. Where was he hitting in the game in that game?
He was hitting second, I think.
Would you be surprised if they just did it?
What if he leads?
Let's say
He might lead off. He led off in this series too.
Let's say he's hitting second and they hit a double. Do you go at this?
Listen, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, I
probably
don't like this move. Luis Castillo, the Tigers have like a sub 650 OPS against him in his career. What do you think the collective OPS of the guys that are on the playoff roster have against George Kirby?
Well, that's not fair because it's buoyed by freaking 6 homers by Kerry Carpenter, man.
Yeah, but he's got 5. The team has 10. There's 99 at bats against George Kirby. They have a collective 986 OPS against him.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't make any sense. Now, Jake Rogers has a couple of homers. He's not going to see the field, so I get that. But Colt Keith, he's 5 for 10 against him.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't end up pitching Kirby.
I think they made the announcement.
They can change it.
Oh. Gleyber Torres, 5 for 12. Colt Keith, 5 for 10. Riley Green, 4 for 12. This has got to scare the shit out of Mariners fans. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more we talk about it, the less I like it.
All right. So we got 2 game 5s. Before we get out of here, let's give some predictions. Let's do this.
I got the Tigers winning.
I agree.
I came out and said I think the Mariners are a better matchup for the Jays, but I think a lot of this screams Tigers because you go Scoobs to Melton to Finnegan. They just have some options right now that guys have been really, really good. And you mentioned the lack of lefties in the Mariners' pen. You mentioned the Kirby stuff. Their offense is going to have to, show up against some really, really good pitchers. So I'll go Detroit in that game, and you're doing it as well.
How about Milwaukee and Chicago?
Crapshoot. We knew that coming into the series, too.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
You thought it was going to be a 5-game series?
I think we said that. I mean, after the first game, we probably changed our tune, didn't we? Especially the first 2 games we did.
Yeah, we both thought that they were going to sweep. We're like, Cubs. I didn't like the way the Cubs came into this postseason. I didn't like the way their starting pitching was stacked up. The fact that Cade Horton didn't make the playoff roster. I was like, oh, this team's done. There's no way. So who do you have?
I want to say Brewers, but I'm not confident in it. I'm not. I have no reason to pick either of those teams.
Well, okay, then I'll do it. I'll pick Milwaukee. I'm going to stick with it.
Tell me why. Tell me why you're so confident in Milwaukee.
I think that I don't think that crowd will let them lose.
That doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry.
I do.
It doesn't mean anything.
I believe in it. I think that I think it's going to be so damn loud in there, and I hope that they don't.
It's loud everywhere in the playoffs.
It's really loud in there. That place looks like...
If that's your reason, then you have the same exact answer as I do, which just means you don't know shit. Okay?
And you know what? I actually want to see Miz come out in the second inning. You can throw somebody in the first. Don't throw Bush a strike. Pray that Nico Horner doesn't stay hot, and you better hope that Kyle Tucker is, forgets to set an alarm or something like that. Get through the first. So I'm going to go with the Brewers.
These
but
games
I'm just
are coin
excited.
flip games. We're talking one game for your season.
I know.
They're coin flip games, and that's the truth. And we can try to predict whatever we want, and we have no freaking clue, man.
I know, but this is the fun part. We all get to have opinions. It's fun.
Yeah, but then I say that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how did you pick this team?" I'm like, so "I didn't pick any team.
Hey,
I don't know."
When people say, well, this didn't age well, right? If you were to pick every game, yeah, we don't know who's going to win every game, but we give our thoughts just like everybody else does.
Dude, that's what I like. I like giving our thoughts.
Yes. So what?
More
I guess. So
broad.
what? Who cares if you're... Dude, you've got a beautiful family.
Right. I like being right.
Oh, stop. You know what? You can't live off of 2021 forever. You can't.
Oh, see, that's to me. That's been the worst thing that's ever happened to me because people now think I know exactly what I'm talking about during the playoffs. I'm like, hey, man, I'll dive in deep after the games. I'm better at that. Predicting's tough.
Then you have had a hell of a life if that's the worst thing that's happened to
Yeah.
you. Good life for you.
I got a
If
great
the
life.
worst thing you ever did was correctly predict that the Braves were going to beat the Astros in 6 games in the World Series before a pitch had ever been thrown that season, if that is the worst, you're my hero, which you are anyway. Quick shout out to Nike, by the way. Playoff baseball, it's going full throttle. You know there is no one more trusted to get your postseason ready than Nike. So go check out our affiliate link in the description below. Shop amazing Nike postseason gear. You'll look great. You'll feel baseball sexy too. That's a big deal. Congratulations to the champs. They are moving on to the NLCS. The Toronto Blue Jays, I'm sure, will be. Do you think a few of those guys, real quickly, do you think a few of the Blue Jays get together and watch the Mariners-Tigers Game 5 together? Or are they just like, nah, we'll go kick it on the town, and whomever wins, cool.
Yeah, no matter what, they're at home.
Right? Would you want to watch it with teammates?
No.
You spend enough time with those guys?
Yeah, I think now, like, get your family time in when you can, because when, I'm assuming, so the first game of that is when?
Sunday.
Uh-huh. I'm assuming Saturday, like, they're going to be like, let's back into baseball mode.
Yeah,
So Friday, enjoy your family.
Yeah. I think it's cool. You know what? Vlad should host a party at his crib.
They might be. We talked about the Dodgers doing that one year, just staying together, making sure they were, around during the bye. They've had some time off now. Maybe they are.
Go have a watch party somewhere. I think that'd be fun for those guys.
I bet Vlad's got a real nice house.
I would imagine it's not bad.
But it's not as nice as yours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You got a nice house.
Same tax bracket. You nailed it. All right. Shout out to our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, whom, truth be told, we tape these things at night after the games are over. So it's like 2:15 in the morning where he lives. That's commitment.
He's the man.
That's why we like that dude. He's all right. So, too, is our intern Sawyer, who does an amazing job for us as well. That is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Enjoy the 2 Game 5s. We will be here again next time on a playoff edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew Baja Blast.